This is the ExtraTime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast, coming to you from a much calmer Oriel Park now than it was on full time. Dundalk getting a win here, 3-2. John Martin with the goal in injury time to claim the victory. They were leading 2-0 at one stage of this game. Patrick Hooban and Ryan O'Kane not in that order with the goals in the first half. But Dale Rooney and Freddie Draper got second half goals to make it 2-2. That despite the fact that Drogheda had a man sent off, Gary Deegan, getting 2 yellows, and he was rightly given his marching orders. But Dundalk get the win thanks to that John Martin goal. We'll get some analysis from John Flanagan, who played for both of these clubs. We'll also hear from both camps. As well as all that, we'll be going to Tallaght Stadium, where Shamrock Rovers have beaten Sligo Rovers by 2-1. Johnny Kenny among the goals for Shamrock Rovers, but he refused to celebrate against his old team. We'll also hear from the UCD Bowl, where UCD earned a 1-1 draw against leaders Bows. Bows still top of the table, but only by 3 points. Derry City beating St. Pat's by 2-0, a second defeat in a row for St. Pat's. We'll be hearing from the Ryan McBride Brandywell. In the first division, Galway United remains 7 points clear thanks to their 1-0 win against Cove Ramblers, but Waterford keep on winning and Ronan Coughlin keeps on scoring. They were 1-0 down away to Bray, but they won 2-1. Athlone with a 3-0 victory against Wexford. Treaty 4-0 winners against Kerry FC, and Finn Harps and Longford drew 1-1. As I say, we will be going around the grounds, but we will start here at Oriel Park, where Dundalk beat Drogheda by 3-2. John Flanagan, as I say, formerly of Dundalk and Drogheda, watched this game and he sent us this voice note.
Great win for Dundalk, coming out in the 3-2 scoreline. Last minute goal. A game that probably had a bit of everything but was severely lacking in quality from a Dundalk perspective. They went 2 goals ahead. Hooban with a goal and an assist for Ryan O'Kane. Then Drogheda had a man sent off, Gary Deegan, 2 silly yellow cards. And you're thinking Dundalk would go on a cruise and see it home. But fair play to Drogheda. They kept fighting and kept chasing and harrying, and then Dundalk huffed and puffed and finally got over the line 91st minute. But Dundalk were very, very average in the night. Didn't look like really creating anything or threatening Drogheda at all. Drogheda, to their credit, fought tooth and nail, and very, very unlucky to come away with nothing, considering they came from 2 goals down. But at the end of the day, Dundalk break the run, 3 points in the bag, and poor Drogheda now, with Deegan suspended, Evan Ware gone off injured, are going to be really, really scraping the barrel when it comes to naming a squad for Monday night's game.
This is the ExtraTime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast, and Stephen, as this is introduced on the podcast, I'll be playing the audio of the reaction to John Martin's winning goal in injury time. How did you feel when that went in?
Obviously you're delighted, it drops to him and you're like, go on John, finish it. And then when you see it hit the net, it's just elation. You can't replace that feeling, as I said to the players in the dressing room. Nothing in any other walk of life gives you that buzz from John, the buzz he'd get from being the individual that scores, just the buzz you get as well, being involved in the team that scores such a late winner. You can't replicate that in any walk of life. So, and it's why you play the game ultimately, them moments, because you have enough setbacks. So you gotta really, really sort of embrace those moments.
He deserved that kind of moment as well. He's worked really hard this season.
Yeah, he has, as you said, he has. And I was just saying, the contrast of his emotions leaving here yesterday afternoon after training, not playing, and now when he's leaving here tonight in the space of 36 hours. As you said, he deserves. I'm delighted for him, what he brings, and just his sheer, as a character, as a personality type of guy he is. You're right, some people just deserve breaks and deserve to be on the end of really good feelings, and he definitely does.
As a manager, do you think, you know what, we were in a tough spot and we pulled it out of the bag, or do you think to yourself, we got ourselves into a tough spot and that's what I'm going to focus on, or is it a mix of both?
No, probably too much the latter, to be honest. My personality, so definitely going with the former tonight. Don't care. Got the win, delighted for the players. They deserved it, and I'm not even going to be going into much detail. I said that post game because I'm probably a bit too guilty of going into detail and maybe taking the goodness out of certain aspects. So tonight, no, just you deserve it, lads, and hopefully that lights a little fuse.
Well, you actually kind of took the words out of my mouth there. Does a win like this give you just that bit more than maybe just the 3 points?
Yeah, I think so. It gives just belief to individuals of right, what a feeling, I want more of that. And winning a game in that manner, you associate all the top teams in every league winning late on, maybe not being at their best as the second half went on, but found a way, and that's all that matters. So I'm delighted with them.
And finally, a very quick turnaround to a game against UCD. They got a great result tonight as we speak, so they'll be up for that. That'll be tough.
UCD are very competitive. Everyone thinks their players go every year, and then they're going to struggle. They're going to be tailed off every year. Andy and will do a great job. And again, Monday will be very difficult. It has been very difficult for us. And the Drew, obviously, it goes out saying the Drew with the league leaders tonight, so scoring a late goal, so they'll have that good feeling that we've had tonight rolling into Monday as well.
Cheers, Stephen.
Thanks, Oisin.
This is the extratime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast, and I'm joined by Drogheda United manager Kevin Doherty. Kevin, your thoughts on this 3-2 defeat at Oriel Park?
Yeah, sick at the moment, obviously, because it was so late. But it was I just did the LOI TV thing there, and they're saying, I'm sure you realise it was a brilliant derby. I don't know, because you're in it, but we started the game brilliant, really good. Should have been 1-up. We missed an absolute, an unbelievable chance. Then probably the way things are going, I mean, our left back that's been played last week gets injured last week. Evan Ware comes back and has trained really, really well all week, so there was no risk playing him, if that makes sense. But he's in a good position to clear the ball as hamstring goes, and they score. The difference, they did score and they took their chance. Then the second goal is a bit. We were poor for 20 minutes, I'd say. Really, really poor from 25 minutes gone to half time. But then second half we come out of the traps really, really good. Pressed them, got in their faces. We're causing them a lot of trouble. Probably Drape, we're causing them trouble. Dale, Dylan. Then the guy gets sent off, and I'm not criticising the referee. He's probably the best referee in the country. I think he's made 2 tackles in the game, and neither of them really bad. Certainly the second one I don't think is a yellow. A second yellow, if that makes sense, or even a yellow. Because again, a lot of fouls going unpunished or uncarded. I don't care if Dundalk players get booked. It makes no odds to me. Unless it's in the game itself and they get sent off, whatever, and it evens up. But I thought the send off was really, really, really soft. And as I said, probably the best referee in the country, so I'll have to look at it back. But then reaction from us, it was unbelievable. Again, you hate, and I said this last week because we played really well against Bones, and I hate taking trying to stay really positive for the sake of being positive, but I couldn't be prouder of the lads tonight. They were absolutely brilliant, and every one of the supporters, and they were in numbers and they were brilliant. Come up that road, should go home very proud, and I'm very proud of all of them, including the supporters out here, because they made such an atmosphere. We played really well. Even the goal, they probably got a little lucky every rebounds and drops, and look to get the winner. And we just have to move on with the game on Monday. We're down. We asked you to pick a team now. We're struggling, so we'll just have to see how we are over the weekend.
Can you build on the performance tonight going into Monday, or is it nearly worse to play so well and to lose bodies as well? Gary gone and Evan gone at the very least.
Yeah, it's funny because we were beaten here I said this to the players, we were beaten here 4-0 last year, and it doesn't feel as bad as that. So look, that's probably where we are. We know that we have a lot in there. We know we're a good side, to put it a better way. But again, we're we probably get punished for every little thing that goes wrong, every little mistake. We're playing really well, and that's when you asked me about. I'm completely not answering your question here, by the way, but to bring that into Monday, we've been bringing good performance. We've played in every single game we've been in. We've been right in it, every one, and probably don't have the points. Even though 13 points is still a good total, and it puts us 4 points ahead of Cork tonight, but we probably don't have the points that we deserve or our performance is warranted. We're getting punished for every little thing, but that will change. Look, we need bodies, we need players in 100%. That was obviously always going to be the case this year with everything that had gone on with the budget and how low our numbers and how young our bench would be. Lads sitting on the bench that are injured. Now, again, that's not an excuse to talk of loads of injuries, but they have the capabilities to replace them probably. So we just have to try and get recovered as quick as possible and get going for ourselves on Monday.
Kevin, I'll let you go because it's starting to rain, which seems like actually quite a good metaphor to sum up your night. Thanks for talking to the extratime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast.
No problem.
This is the extratime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast, and I'm joined by Keith Ward of Dundalk. Keith, talk me through the feeling at the end of the game, having gone 2-0 up, then going back to 2-2, and then winning it with an injury time goal.
Oh, I don't know, where do you start? Probably sums up our season a bit at the moment. Not making things too easy for us, but you know, to win a derby in that way, it's not a bad feeling coming off the pitch. You know, look, you know, we should have, especially down to 10 men, we've given away cheap goals. Probably kind of sums us up at the moment. We're probably giving away too many soft goals. But look, we stuck it out till the end. We feel like we've been not getting a bit of the rub of the green the last few weeks. We're kind of playing okay, but just not getting a bounce of the ball, and it bounced for us tonight, and we've got the winner. And you know, we're coming off the pitch happy. We are. It's nice. Look, derbies, I've played in a lot of derbies for a lot of different teams. You know, they're never really too pretty. And at the end of the day, it's all about winning, sending the fans home happy. So look, we'll take the positives for that. And like you said, it's a quick turnaround on Monday. We've got UCD, so we'll enjoy the win. But you know, it's gone now. You know, and it's UCD Monday.
When you were good tonight, you were good. What was the difference between that maybe and some games this season where you've had a lot of possession but haven't had necessarily the punch you would need?
Yeah, well look, as you see from the team tonight, Pat coming back in is a massive impact. Look, he's still, in my eyes, probably the best striker in the league. You know, we got him back tonight. I think he scored. I think he might have set up too. He's a big presence. He's a big character on the pitch. You know, no one likes playing against him. And I think, you know, him tonight made a big difference coming back into the team. And look, we just got to look at ourselves second half. You know, we probably didn't come out. We knew the first 15 minutes, you know, you just keep it steady. We're 2-0 up. Don't give away any cheap goals. And probably with the sending off, we probably just thought the game was over and it was too easy. And that's on the likes of me, you know, experienced players. You can't let that happen. We've given away cheap goals. That's not on the defence, that's on the team. You know, it's something we need to get better at. But, you know, with John Martin coming off the pitch, who's, you know, one of the most popular people in the team, he's been unlucky. He's done very well for us this year. In games, he's probably playing better, but his goals, he probably hasn't got a bounce of the ball. But I think if you ask anyone in the dressing room who wanted the ball to fall, didn't score, we'd have been delighted for John. So we're coming off the pitch happy. You know, it's a good buzz in there. We haven't been too down with results because I think performances have been coming. We just needed the bounce of a ball, and I think it came for us tonight, and hopefully that can kickstart our season.
There seems to be a great relationship between this team and the fans who understand where the club is, where the team is.
Yeah, of course. You know, you know, I've been here successful. I've been here when it hasn't been. Like, I've been around. Like, it's been kind of a bit of a roller coaster with Dundalk, I think, the last 10-15 years. And I think with Stevie here, he's trying to get the club back to where it belongs. I think he knows the club inside out, but it's not easy when you're signing 7-8 players every year. It takes a bit of time. He's only in the door 15-16 months. You know, it's going to take time, but I think the fans understand that. You know, they're great fans here. I've been here 3 times, kind of 3 different occasions with three different managers and that. Like, they're very understanding here, and they stuck with us tonight. You know, they're still here every week. They're not too frustrated. I think there is a good understanding, and they got behind us. I didn't see anyone leaving early or acting frustrated, so that's great to see. And I've been at enough clubs to realise how important the fans are, and they can get you over the line. I think they were a big impact tonight.
This is the extratime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast, and I'm joined by Ryan O'Kane, who's been allowed to stay up late, especially to play football. Ryan, how did it feel to score that goal? Was that your first of the season?
It was my first of the season, yes, and it was probably too long of time coming as well. I probably should have a few more already, but yeah, especially in a derby, a big game like that, and as a local lad, you can't beat that. Like,
try and talk me through the reaction, because it was a bigger reaction than I've seen to a lot of goals here, and a lot of big goals.
Yeah. Well, I suppose a local lad's going in probably the biggest game of the season for a lot of the fans. I suppose that's why part of the reaction, and probably my part, I probably haven't played as well as I probably should have this season. So to get a goal, and I think I played okay. So yeah, to kind of get that boost going, it feels good, and I'd say the fans felt the same.
They gave you a standing ovation as you went off. How did that feel? Yeah, they did.
I didn't notice that. I was kind of I looked over the shed and just clapped them off because they were brilliant, and the same at the stand. But I didn't notice they were standing there. But I just heard the claps, and that's always great to hear when you're walking off. So
well, I was sitting in the posh seats, and they all got up. I think you're rather hard on yourself when you say maybe you haven't played as well as you'd like to this season so far. The team are improving as the season is going on. Is that a fair comment? Are you gelling? Because it came together quite late, so it takes a while to play into a season.
Definitely. You still remember, we still have a lot of lads that come in last season as well, so it's still there. only second season going in, and we have a relatively young squad as well. Like I think we had a couple of 19, 20-year-olds out there as well. So to go into a big derby like that against an experienced team, a tough team to break down. You've seen them against Derry, I think a few weeks ago, bet them up in the Brandywell with 10 men. So to break a team like that down and get 3 goals and score last minute winner as well, and one of the biggest games of the season, it's massive. So yeah.
UCD on Monday night, no rest for the wicked.
No, straight in, and then we have Sligo on the Saturday away, so a nice trip up there. So look, we're just going to have to use this as a big confidence boost, and I think we can all feel it after the game as well. It was kind of something just we needed to kick us on. So yeah, it's going to be massive on Monday. Good teams back it up, so we'll see if we can do the same.
I know you're young, but being, I think, the only local lad, the only born and raised Dundalk lad in the first team, I know there's probably a couple of other lads around as well. Is it your role, or do you take it on board yourself to talk to some of the lads who are arriving, to talk about the town, the history, what the club means to the fans here?
Oh, definitely. And even a game like that, we kind of had to tell a lot of the lads. Well, I suppose we would have played them already up in Drogheda, so we would have told a lot of the lads what it meant to people of town. And you can even see when you're coming out there with the fans and the flares and how much it means to them, that it's a massive game. And I don't think the lads would come into a game. Every game, I suppose, massive, so they're not going to come into a game and treat it any different. So yeah, they know how big this game is, so yeah, it showed today anyway. And
as I say, a very tight turnaround to Monday. To come down from this kind of win, is that going to be tough? Because every minute of rest and every minute of recovery and every minute of preparation between now and Monday really counts, doesn't it?
Well, I suppose you could look at it 2 ways. Like, boys could be going in tired, but like I think we kind of feel that we kind of don't mind games in the bounce because we're still fresh. I know we've especially kind of a small, especially when we win and you're taking a big confidence boost in like that. But I know we've a small squad at the minute with injuries and that, but we're going to have boys coming back, so it's going to be massive in this. But I think we've 7 games in, I think, nearly a month and a half or something short like that. So yeah, it's going to be massive to get bodies back, and after that win tonight in a big game like that, it's going to be huge.
Ryan O'Kane, thanks very much for speaking to the ExtraTime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast.
Thank you very much.
This is the ExtraTime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast, and that is all the reaction from Oriel Park. In there you heard from Ryan O'Kane, Keith Ward, Stephen O'Donnell and Drogheda boss Kevin Doherty. Still to come, reaction from Shamrock Rovers' 2-1 win against Sligo Rovers. We'll also hear from Andy Meyler following his team's 1-1 draw with Bohemians. Let's go from Dundalk to Derry, though. Derry with a 2-0 victory against St Patrick's Athletic. That means that Bo's lead at the top is now down to 3 points. Watching this game for us was Drive 105's Dee Curran, and afterwards he sent us this voice note.
I can confirm for you, Oisin, that Derry City have won by 2-0. Their first victory here at Brandywell Stadium since their first home league game back in March against Cork City. Goals had come from Ben Doherty on the penalty spot. The goal had come after a fantastic drive-in run from Ryan Graydon, bursting through the midfield to get in between 2 defenders. They get into the penalty area to be bundled over and claim the penalty. What people may not talk about though in the build-up to that was Colm Whelan's part in the attack. Colm Whelan, not long off the substitute bench, had a bit of a dummy run that took away one of the defenders away from Ryan Graydon that allowed him to bear down on the 18-yard box before being fouled. Of course, that penalty was dispatched by Ben Doherty, his 3rd goal of the season since signing from Larne. He has been on fire on the left-hand side, very direct footballer, always looking to attack from a defensive position, and even set up the 2nd goal for Colm Whelan, who's now 2 goals for 2 from substitute appearances, having returned to the club, or returned to football, since his horrific ACL injury with UCD in the middle of last season. But something had to change here at Brandywell, and change before kick-off was quite evident whenever Rory Higgins had moved into the opposite dugout from where Derry City had been positioned since last season. Rory last year decided that he wanted to take the team into the dugout and the changing rooms and along the side where the Mark Farn mural is in the Mark Farn stand. However, he's moved over to the opposite side, hoping that maybe a bit more energy and positivity may come from a new position. And it certainly has. Derry City dominated throughout the game, but in the opening 20 minutes you got that feeling that once again it was going to be all duck and no dinner, as Ollie O'Neill struck the post. It was a fantastic effort just inside the box, and you have to give it to the St Patrick's Athletic goalkeeper Dean Linus, who was outstanding in the first half, making multiple saves from Michael Duffy and one from Ben Doherty too. But you have to give a shout out to the Swedish right back for St Patrick's Athletic, Karl Axel Sorberg. I'm probably pronounced that wrong, and I apologise for butchering the Swedish language. But he had the hardest task in all of Ireland tonight, and that was trying to stop both Michael Duffy and Ben Doherty. There was one spot in particular, Oisin, I don't know if you happened to see it, but Ben and Michael were attacking down the left-hand side and just kept playing 1-2s around the right back. They actually gained 50 yards and created a chance inside the 18-yard box that was saved again by Linus. Other than that, St Patrick's Athletic came here in the first half and they just held their ship. They tried to get Forrester and Mulroney to conduct the orchestra and bring both the Doyles into the attack. But for all their movement across the attack and third, the Doyles didn't really have many positive touches and were probably just as anonymous as Brian Maher was throughout the fixture. But Derry City back to winning ways at the Brandywell. St Patrick's Athletic are at home against Sligo Rovers at 3 o'clock on Monday, whilst Derry City play Shamrock Rovers here in a 7:15 kickoff. And I must tell you, Oisin, that you may know I'm a big man for my stats. However, I am yet to commentate on a Derry City home league goal all season. And you'll never guess who's doing the commentary on Drive 105's Match Night Live this coming Monday. Hopefully things will change.
Well, I'm sure the Shamrock Rovers fans listening are hoping that stat will remain the same come Monday. This is the ExtraTime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast. I'm Oisin Langan. Still to come, we're going to hear from Keith Long following Waterford's victory away to Bray. They were 1-0 down in that match. Now have a guess who was on the score sheet. That's right, Ronan Coughlin. He has done it again. Before we go to the First Division, let's go from the Ryan McBride Brandywell to the Tallaght Stadium. Shamrock Rovers beating Sligo Rovers by 2-1. ExtraTime.com's Macdara Ferris was there and afterwards sent us this voice note.
Shamrock Rovers made it 16 points from the last 18 on offer with a hard-fought 2-1 win over Sligo Rovers at Tallaght Stadium. The hoops were really made hard to work for the victory. Just like last week against St Pat's, the goal scorers were Johnny Kenny and Trevor Clark, but Greg Bulger's goal made a very nervy finish for Shamrock Rovers. Johnny Kenny against his former club opened the scoring after 19 minutes. Early in the game, the sides had swapped chances at either end. Certainly Sligo Rovers came at Shamrock Rovers. They weren't going to sit back and really gave them an excellent game and probably leave quite disappointed not taking a point. But it was Kenny, their former Sligo Rovers player, that scored the opener. He ran onto a ball over the top by Marcus Boom, held off Pinnacar and slotted it home past McNicholas. He didn't wheel away in celebration in front of the away fans, but he took high fives from his teammates. It was kind of a sombre enough celebration by the 19-year-old. That was his fourth goal of the season. 1-0 at half time. Sligo Rovers, put real pressure on Rovers towards the end of the first half. Max Matt had gone close with a shot, and again we're very strong in the second half. But the hoops Stephen Bradley brought on Richie Tell just before the hour mark, just provided him a bit of impetus. The crowd were trying to get the home team going as the visitors were really on top. But it was Trevor Clark who got his second goal in 2 games. He's 2 for the season, and he finished off a quick fire counter attack by the hoops. Gary Neal kind of won the ball in the middle of midfield, played it through to Jack Byrne, who slotted a through ball through for Trevor Clark to cut in from the left. He took the ball on, and with defenders coming his way, he slotted it home. Sligo got back into the game, but thanks to Greg Bulger, he picked up a pass from Niall Moore and got a shot which was going on target, but it did clip Pico Lopez's heels and just beat Alan Manus diving to his right. Unlucky maybe for Rovers, but if you don't take the shots, you don't score the goals. There was a great battle throughout the game between Pico Lopez and Max Mata, and Mata went really close with a header later on as Sligo Rovers piled pressure on as the hoops were kind of hanging on 2-1. If maybe this game was earlier on in the season, it was a game potentially that Rovers would have conceded an equaliser like they did when the two teams met early on in the season. Actually, on the opening night of the season for those two teams, it was Sligo Rovers got a 95th minute equaliser, but it wasn't to be. They were, as I say, very disappointed away supporters amongst the 5,512 that were here at Tallaght Stadium. It's a double weekend. Sligo Rovers will be back up in Dublin on Monday. They'll face St Patrick's Athletic in Inchicore. Meanwhile, Shamrock Rovers will travel up to Derry City. They won this evening, but table toppers Bohemians drew at UCD, as I'm sure you've probably heard on the voice notes elsewhere. And it does mean that Shamrock Rovers, while they stay in third place, they're now only 4 points behind Bohemians, who they play here at Tallaght Stadium next Friday.
This is the ExtraTime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast, and that was Macdara Ferris watching Shamrock Rovers 2-1 win against Sligo Rovers. After the game, Macdara spoke to Hoops boss Stephen Bradley.
Stephen, it's 5 wins out of 6, but it was probably nervy enough in the second half. What did you make of the performance, having got the 2-goal lead? It was maybe a bit nervy towards the end.
Yeah, but they're a good side. I think they're the best side we've played. We felt that after the first round of games, and we felt it again tonight. Tonight we had to show different qualities, and I think when you're being successful you have to have so many different aspects to your play. Everyone knows we can play and we can dominate games, but sometimes you got to dig in and work and show that togetherness, and we did that tonight, and obviously got the win.
Like last week, it was same goal scorers, Johnny Kenny first half, Trevor Clark the second half. They were very, very well taken goals.
Yeah, Johnny's movement was really good. He came short, the defender stepped in, then he dipped in behind him, and once he's 1v1 left or right foot, you fancy him. He's a really, really good finisher, and he's only going to get better and fitter and stronger for us. You can see at 70 minutes he was getting tired because the way we played the man so much. So the more he plays with us, he'll only get better. And I've no doubt, I said at the start of the year, he scores goals for us. He has already, but I think there's a lot in him.
Spoke to him for the match programme, and he was a little bit disappointed with himself that he didn't score more against Pats. I thought it was a really good save by the Pats goalkeeper, but he obviously didn't let his head drop. He was coming up against his former team. He's only a 19-year-old, but I think he showed great character this evening.
Yeah, we all know he loves Sligo and that club. They mean a lot to him, and he's made no secret of that. So like you said, he's 19, and I think we all forget that with Johnny at times. But what Johnny has, and I said after Dundalk, he's not afraid to miss him. You have that as a centre forward, you'll always score, and Johnny always puts himself in areas to score goals. And like I said, the way we create, I've no doubt he scores a lot of goals for us, and so far he's been excellent for us.
I thought it was a great battle between Pico Lopez and Max Mata. Like, if you were removing yourself from watching, not cheering for one of the teams, I think anyone watching the game would have been really enthralled by that. Yeah,
he's a good player. We've known that, obviously. He scored some goals this year, but his all-round play is good, and you could see he's a handful for us. He's been a handful for everyone, but Pico looks back to himself now, and when he's in that form, he's very difficult to get any change overall. But I thought, like you said, it was a good battle. There's good battles all over the pitch. First half, they won a lot of them, and I thought second half we got on top, and some of them obviously got rewards. And your team saw it the win. I was kind of thinking, the start of the season, maybe that might have been a game where Sligo Rovers might have scored from one of those corners, but it means that you go into Monday's game with more momentum. It's really difficult on Bank Holiday weekend playing these kind of back-to-back fixtures. Yeah, it's they're difficult games obviously, and then the travel, but it's fine. This is what it's about. This is the season. We'll recover tonight and see how the bodies are tomorrow and Sunday, and get ready for what will be a difficult game on up in Derry against a good side, but we'll be ready to go. I think, like I said, really pleased with what the group has shown. We showed our quality throughout the season, and tonight they've shown a great and determination and togetherness to get the win.
This is the ExtraTime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast, and that is Shamrock Rovers manager Stephen Bradley speaking to Macdara Ferris following the Hoops 2-1 victory against Sligo Rovers. Right, let's go to the UCD Bowl. A bit of a surprise here. Bows held to a 1-1 draw by UCD. Bows going 1-0 up through Afalabi after 54 minutes. But the equaliser came after 89 minutes through Jake Doyle. Afterwards, ExtraTime.com's Ronan McNamara spoke to UCD manager Andy Meyler.
Point is probably fair in the game, and probably what we deserve for sure, yeah.
Bows were kind of flat, and you took advantage of that. I know Cian Moore had to make a couple of early saves, but from there, you were relatively comfortable, you'd have to say, really.
I thought we played well. I thought if we gave as good as we got in the game. Bows were very good side, lots of threats going forward. We were able to change it up at half time and increase that threat probably. So we needed to be at our best, and I think some really, really good performances, particularly at the back, but some really good performances across the top of the pitch as well, and great to see Jay getting his first goal.
And apparently it was his birthday as well today, which you were unaware of, so you mustn't have got the invite to the party. But
I certainly didn't sing happy birthday to him anyway. Yeah.
But it was a great finish, and he missed kind of a half chance there before that, but it was great to see him come back and get the goal then.
Yeah, brilliant. Listen, I always see as an ex-forward myself, I always love to see the young lads getting a goal and getting the monkey off the back and getting going, so he'll remember that one, and a really good night to get it from.
That's 4 points from your last 2 home games now. Like, that gives you a little something to kick on and a bit of momentum to go forward with.
Yeah, from our point, like, home form is important for anybody. We're just worried about, we want to pick up points wherever we can, pick them home, away, whatever. I think that performance now gives a little bit of confidence, hopefully. And it's just, you can see the group gelling a little bit, getting a bit more together. We need a lot more than obviously the points that we have at the moment. With 6 points, we need a lot more than that. But we'll keep battering away now and try and get as many as we can.
It's an interesting scenario. Like, I don't know what you say to the players when they come out here, and then when they score the late goal, the place is nearly stunned into silence because it's packed with Bohemians fans. What's that like? How do you kind of manage that?
We speak a little bit about that at times, in terms of actually, like, it's no different when lots of teams are going away. Actually, you deal with like, sometimes the silence of another team's fans shows you that you're doing well. So it's listen, we get a kick out of scoring our goals, no problem. Whether there's 2,000 cheering or nobody cheering, we'll cheer anyway.
Brilliant. Andy, thanks for joining us on the Extra Time podcast. Cheers. Good luck.
This is the ExtraTime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast, and that is UCD manager Andy Meyler following their 1-1 draw against Bohemians, the leaders at the UCD Bowl. Up next for them, Dundalk at home on Monday evening. Cork City looking nervously over their shoulders now, thanks to their 2-1 defeat, I should say. A win, I wish. Their 2-1 defeat away to Shelbourne. Smith and Moylan with the goals. O'Brien Whitmarsh got what turned out to be a consolation for Cork City. So that was a bad result for them at Tallaght Park. That's the relegation battle we're talking about. Well, when we're talking about Cork City, we're talking about the relegation battle. Certainly not for Shelbourne, who are in a very healthy position in the table. We will get to that. Didn't have anyone, by the way, at Tallaght Park. It's a bank holiday weekend. It's quite hard to get people. Plus, Damien Duff will be all over the Shelbourne social media channels and probably the LOI TV social media channels as well. And why wouldn't he be? He is such a high profile guy. They follow everything he does. Everything he does is more intensely scrutinised. I'm not complaining. I know I sound like I am. I'm not complaining. So if you want to hear from that game, there are plenty of places you can do so. Right, let's go to the First Division. Waterford were 1-0 down against Bray, but they came back to win 2-1. Andrew Dempsey of ExtraTime.com was at that game and afterwards spoke to Blues boss Keith Long, who is doing a fantastic job since his arrival.
6 win in a row for your side. You must be delighted with the result tonight.
Yeah, pleased to get the result, to turn it around second half. We got a good goal to equalise, and they go down to 10 men. That helps us, so we get a second good goal, which is a really good goal. And we showed good character and resilience to come back in the second half from 1-0 deficit. We challenged the boys at half time to be better, to do better, to do more. We conceded a poor goal early in the game, and Bray dropped off and tried to contain us and tried to counter us, and they made life difficult for us, getting bodies behind the ball. They're well organised, they've done their homework, and you'd expect that from Bray. And we didn't really work Stephen McGuinness enough in the first half. Created some openings, but maybe lack of decision making, final pass, execution, shots on target, all that type of stuff. Maybe we could have been better. No doubt we could have been better in the first half. But second half we got 2 great goals, and then to get ahead, they're down to 10 men, and the game loses control a little bit. It becomes end to end a little bit. We lacked a little bit of control at that moment in time, and I suppose they're the moments that we need to improve, get better as a team, and be calm in possession, work the opposition, and not get tired of moving the ball around.
Yeah, and obviously a 13th and 14th league goal of the season for Ronan. I think it's probably quite unheard of to have this many goals at this stage of the season, so he must be delighted with his impact.
He's a Premier Division striker, Ronan, so he's playing in our team. We're lucky to have him. He's getting goals, and he took his goals expertly again tonight. Some good play, good build-up play to the goals. Great cross in from Ryan Burke for the winning goal. Roland comes off the bench, makes an impact with an assist. So that's what it's going to take. It's going to take everybody coming in. Going to take a squad of players to try and achieve. All we can do is look after our own performances and the games that are in front of us. I think we can get better. We're only just over a month in the job, so it's good to win after winning and to try and keep on that momentum going.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about, obviously you mentioned your month in charge, and how have you found the whole Waterford experience so far? You seem to be thriving. I think even just watching you go over to the fans at the end of the game, you seem to be really really loving it.
I've enjoyed it so far. The people at Waterford have made me feel very welcome. The club have been, there's lots of good stuff going on down there. Lots of good resources in place. And it's a good football town, good football city. So like I said, we want to reflect the city well on the football pitch when we play, and and have that togetherness between supporters and players. So I've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it. I was out of football for 6-7 months, so a long time at a club in Bohemians. Really enjoyed my spell there, and now it's at Waterford, and it's different division, different set of challenges, but at the same time it's a great opportunity to try and do something with this great football club.
I think this is your first time managing the first division as well, isn't it?
I coached in the first division.
Yeah.
Oh, did I? No, I didn't. I didn't. I coached in a couple of playoffs.
Yeah.
We stayed up with Bray here, actually. But no, you're right, yeah.
So how have you found that challenge?
Different, because you don't know some of the players, to be perfectly honest with you, and it can be difficult to fully, certainly in this congestion period, going for Friday, Monday, and it's different. The quality is not as good as it would be in the Premier Division. That's stating the obvious. So, but really enjoying it. I think I've got a good group of players here. If we can add subtly to that in the window, we can strengthen the squad if we possibly can, to add to what we already have to try and help the team. That's something that we'll look at doing. But overall, it's been a great start, hasn't it? 6 games into my tenure here, and we've won the 6 games. So long may that continue. Hopefully we can continue that on Monday, we'll take it from there.
Yeah, you mentioned Ron's a Premier Division striker, but I think even just looking around the pitch, there are so many Premier Division standard of players that you have. So you're probably lucky to be coming into a team that already has that before coming in.
Yeah, I think the balance of the squad can be better. I think we need to improve the balance of the squad. So we've got lots of similar type of players. If you get me, the profile of player is very, very young. So we need to have a look at that. Maybe get 1 or 2 more experienced players in if we possibly can. Maybe get players that will give the team better balance. And to try and help us kick on if we can. So that's the aim. Let's see what happens. Obviously, it's very difficult. It's easier said than done. Trying to get the right players in, attracting players to the first division can be difficult. But at the same time, if they look beyond where we are right now and see the vision for the football club, well then hopefully we'll be able to get a player or 2 with good pedigree, with good experience that can help us, like I said, make us better.
Yeah, I suppose just lastly then, I think maybe just a word on the supporters tonight. There was a huge Waterford crowd here, probably the biggest away support I've seen here all season anyway, so you obviously must be delighted with how the fans are buying into this.
Yeah, no, fantastic. The supporters have been brilliant. They're coming in their numbers both home and away. Even on Monday night down in the RS in Treaty in Markets Field. Long may that continue. Like I said, it's very important for any football club that they have the supporters getting behind their team, and it's our obligation to get the team representing them well on the pitch, get them coming in through the gate, paying their hard-earned cash to go and watch their team play football. And that's hopefully we'll continue on this run that we can, and they'll continue to get behind us.
Right. Thanks for being for that. Appreciate it. Thank you.
This is the ExtraTime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast, and that is Waterford manager Keith Long speaking to Andrew Dempsey following their 2-1 win away to Bray Wanderers in the First Division. Elsewhere in the First Division, last night as you listen, Treaty United beat Kerry FC 4-0. Athlone Town enjoyed a 3-0 victory against Wexford FC. Galway United remain 7 points clear following their 1-0 win against Cove Ramblers, and Finn Harps drew 1-1 with Longford Town. Let's have a look at the First Division table. Well, I'll have a look at the First Division table. This is radio/audio/podcasting, so you can't have a look, but you can have a listen. Galway United still on top on 33 points. Waterford second on 26 points. Athlone third on 16 points. Bray fourth on 16 points. Cove Ramblers fifth on 15 points. Finn Harps sixth on 14 points. Wexford 7th on 11 points. Treaty 8th on 10 points. Longford second from bottom on 8 points. And Kerry bottom on 2 points. What's happening next in the First Division fixture-wise? We'll get to it in a while. Let's take a look at the Premier Division table. Bohemians still on top, but only 3 points clear following their draw away to UCD. Derry in second on 22 points. Bows, by the way, on top on 25 points. Both of them have played 12 matches. Shamrock Rovers in third position on 21 points, having played 12 games. Shelbourne in fourth position on 17 points. St. Pat's in fifth, also on 17 points. Dundalk in sixth on 16 points. Sligo Rovers 7th on 16 points. Drogheda United in 8th on 13 points. Cork City in 9th on 9 points. UCD bottom but on 6 points. Just 3 between them and Cork City. As you listen on Saturday, you have the chance to take in an SSE Airtricity Women's Premier Division match. At 4 o'clock, DLR Waves meet Galway United. At 5, it's Peamount United against Shamrock Rovers. Cork City take on Bowes also at 5. That's in Turner's Cross. Sligo Rovers welcome Athlone at 5. And at 6, Wexford U's take on Shelbourne. All of those games live on LOI TV. The table, by the way, Peamount on top on 18 points. Shamrock Rovers second on 14 points. Shells third on 13 points. Galway 4th on 13 points. Athlone 5th on 10 points. Bohemians 6th on 9 points. DLR Waves 7th on 8 points. Wexford U's 8 on 6 points. Treaty United in 9th on 5 points. Cork City 2nd from bottom on 1 point. Sligo Rovers bottom on no points. So that's the Women's League. In the Men's Premier Division, there are fixtures on Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, of course. At 3 o'clock, St. Patrick's Athletic taking on Sligo Rovers. Both teams coming off a loss. I'll be working with Keith Tracy on that one for LOI TV. Bowes take on Cork City at 5 o'clock. UCD up against Dundalk, also at 5. Also at 5, Drogheda United meeting Shelbourne. And at 7:15, Derry City take on Shamrock Rovers. We will, by the way, have a podcast on Tuesday reflecting on all of those games. In the First Division on Monday, Bray meet Treaty United. Waterford take on Wexford. Cove Ramblers up against Kerry. Longford take on Galway United. And Finn Harps welcome Athlone Town. I might as well tell you the kick-off times for those matches. It's a 3 o'clock kick-off for the Bray and Waterford games. It's a 5 o'clock kick-off for Cove Ramblers against Kerry. It's a 7:30 kick-off for Longford against Galway United. And it's an 8 o'clock start for Finn Harps against Athlone Town. That's it for myself, Oisin Langan, and the extratime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back with another podcast on Tuesday, but after that, on Wednesday or Thursday, Luke Jordan will be along with the extratime.com League of Ireland podcast that takes a really deep dive into everything that's going on in the League of Ireland world. We'd love to hear from you. You can get in contact with Extra Time through @ExtraTime News. You can get me on @Oisin Langan, and of course you can find out more about Extra Time and read all the match reports and previews and all the good stuff that we've got going on extratime.com. That's it for myself, Oisin Langan. Enjoy the rest of your bank holiday weekend. We'll talk to you late on Monday night or early on Tuesday, or if you're a St. Pat's or Sligo Rovers fan, I will talk to you during the commentary of that live on LOI TV. That's it for me. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye bye.